What it do, everybody? It's your boy King Crowder checking back in with another edition of History You May Not Know, That's Not Discussed, or you're not even familiar with. This time, we're going to dive all the way over to St. Louis, Missouri. The Lou, where you at? This history in St. Louis dates back again to the Red Summer of the United States. The Red Summer was during that period, World War I, World War II era, Woodrow Wilson era, when race, riots, and justice were at the highest point of history that we don't know about or we formally don't discuss. This situation was kind of eerie because it kind of mirrors where we are at today and those same type of issues. This situation happened July 1st through the 3rd, 1917, located in Missouri, right? A issue was brought about mostly from a aluminum ore company. White workers began to go on strike. Now, when these white workers started to go on strike in the town of St. Louis, a labor dispute came about and they wanted to get better rates and get more employed and etc., right? When the workers decided to take the strike notice, the blacks in the town came in and filled these positions. As they filled these positions, everybody in the community became unemployed and they did not want to hire the whites that went on strike. Makes logical sense, right? You decide to go on strike, I have labor to fill that void. It's going to happen. When the whites began to get upset about that, a white mob, known as white rage, began to form again. The reason why this history is so eerie because I think back to the time during, our former president's presidency, when you seen a lot of they're taking our jobs, we need to build the wall for the Mexicans, we need to keep them out. That ideologically is still right there, but it's transferred to something different. I want y'all to follow me through the mindset and the picture I'm painting for you. So again, around this issue, when the strike happened, the black workers began to fill these positions. It was said that a white man was robbed by a black man at the iron ore plant. When this complaint started to happen, a white mob immediately began to form. As the white mob immediately began to form, city officials were terrified because they didn't know how to handle it. Mind you, it was crime and uprisings all across this country. So they immediately called the National Guard. The National Guard flooded the town of Missouri, stayed there, restored peace in this area. However, they left around June. At July 1st, the day after the National Guard left, a white man was shot. A white man was shot inside his Ford vehicle outside of a black man's home. As they began to get shot in the area, the next morning, many whites came into the area and started to shut down the area so most blacks couldn't leave. They shut down bridges, buildings, churches, and all exit points within the community. The reason why this is so alarming, because imagine how much mental distress came from that moment. Imagine if you're in a town right now and it's being shot down, people that want to kill you, and the police won't let you leave. It's pretty scary and remarkable when you think about it, but this actually happened. And this right there started the uprising because people tried to flee the scene, but could not. So what they had to do in that moment was the fight and flight responses kicked on. The black males in the area had to defend themselves along with their family. When guns started blazing, murder and death began to occur in a large fashion, shooting from all over. It was a huge massacre of blacks and whites in the streets, all started because a simple labor dispute occurred. People in the town that were not trying to get into the violent situations that the blacks, they were saying that blacks were trying to swim across the river. If you've ever been to St. Louis across that bridge, they were swimming across that river trying to escape and being shot down like pigeon birds in the street. They were getting shot in the head, shot point blank range, stabbed, laced, and the police made 0 arrests during that time of day. The reason why this situation is so eerie, because the body count said officially 40 blacks and 9 whites died. However, local words and local legends said it was hundreds of people that passed away that day. They said the reporting was off, the coverage was off, and it was history that is continued to be overshadowed and overlooked. The reason why this was so devastating to me was how law enforcement contributed to the acts of terror at this time. You knew that these people were being persecuted and hunted by people that didn't know what was going on. The labor force union was over here. What did the rest of these civilian children, mother and women have in common? Nothing. So while the sum of East St. Louis began to happen and people were being shot and killed down, they had no defense and nothing to do about it. The reason why this thing right here kind of irks me and gives me a certain tragedy until this day is that while people were being ablaze, being fled in buildings, they had no defense from the people that were supposed to protect and serve them. Silly me by thinking that things would be different or change during that time. But I try to picture in today's time if something like that could have happened. Damascus, East St. Louis was not that long ago, y'all. 2 generations ago that this situation and this piece of history actually happened. Even what's crazy and more eerie about it, many young men in the city of St. Louis have no idea about this history, have no idea about this legacy. They have no idea what's going on. Many of the reporters that did the most grounded research, his name was Charles F. Hurd. He did eyewitness accounts. He did interviews. He did post-conversations on what happened in that area. It's so eerie and give me goosebumps to this day because the families that received this tragic event to this day have not been compensated, apologized, or anything to this day. They have one sign in St. Louis about it. But I would like to ask the average St. Louis person or somebody from the Lou who knew about this tragedy, especially being a foundational Black American or Native Black or whatever you choose to call yourself. How many actually know about this situation if you're from the Midwest? It's our histories in America that we need to talk about and discuss. Because it's things that are really recent. I like to remind everybody, this is only 2 generations ago. It's not far. We think it's a long time, but I always like to point to how St. Louis to this day continue to have struggles financially and mentally. Always remember one thing I want y'all to remember, y'all. History stands for his side of the story, and history always brings up cause and effect. This was the cause of this incident, and the effect to this day is the blacks in St. Louis still suffer and have issues they don't know about. King Crowder checking back out, y'all, with history you may not know or unfamiliar with. I would like y'all to follow me, like, comment, subscribe to my videos, chime back in anything you want to see. This is only the early part of it, baby. I'm going to keep bringing these content to you as much and as often as possible. Thank you for tuning in, y'all. Peace.